The drunk tank for Maniacs arrival the walls breathe. I count them. 65 other bodies, or 65 other versions of my own body refracted through fluorescent water. The one who arrived yesterday, or was it yesterday? Yesterday has teeth now, tells me the walls have memory, that they're made of compressed screaming. I believe her because belief is the only currency here that doesn't devalue. I was arrested for being too sane. This is what happened. I stood on the bridge with my shoes in my pockets like eggs. I might hatch later. The officer said that's not normal. The paramedic said that's indicative. The form said acute suicidal ideation with features of dissociative presentation. None of them understood I was trying to subtract myself, make the equation balance, erase the variable that keeps solving for pain. They brought me here instead. Aye. The census of the unwell there's a man who only speaks in recipe measurements. A pinch of my childhood, 2 cups of rage, fold in the part where mother stopped breathing. There's a woman who wears the same outfit as yesterday, but insists it's a different outfit. And I think she might be right. Clothes must be entities with their own lives. They must age differently than we do. There's a girl, she says she's all the girls, simultaneously, who has conversations with the water fountain. It speaks back in pipe sounds. She translates. It's thirsty too. It wants to pour something other than itself. The one next to me on the observation bench has been here for 6 years. She doesn't blink with her eyes anymore. She blinks with her breath. Pause, breath, pause. The rhythm of a clock learning to doubt its own ticking. You're new, she says without moving her face. You still think there's a difference between inside and outside. I do, I think. Aye. Subtraction they give us pills. The pills are spheres. Spheres are perfect, which means they contain everything and nothing, all possible reactions to madness compressed into a shape that could roll away if you didn't swallow it first. A man at the table, there are always men at tables, is trying to fold reality into origami. He's been working on the same crease for 3 weeks. The nurses let him because he's quiet about it. Madness is only dangerous when it's loud. I'm the sane one. I tell the nurse whose name might be Patricia or Patricia's concept. She adjusts my pillow. The pillow remembers every head it's held. It's developing opinions. You got here the same way everyone else did, she says. You believed something too hard. I wanted to stop existing. Is that belief? Is that sanity or its opposite? The bridge under my feet was a sentence mid-formation. I was the punctuation that would complete it. Instead, I'm here, in a room where the light is slightly too white, where 65 other people are folding themselves into smaller and smaller versions, until someone will finally be small enough to fit into a space where the pain doesn't reach. IV, the multiplication of the same day 4, or hour 4. Time is not a line here. It's a door that keeps opening on the same room. The woman with the breath blink says, they brought you here to make us feel sane. You're the mirror. You're the control group. You're the one person who stepped out of the logic, so the rest of us can pretend the logic is a choice. I want to argue. I want to say, I stepped out because the logic was eating me, wearing me like a suit made of skin. But she's already blinked away. Breath. Pause. Breath. There's group therapy. We sit in a circle. Circles are prisons with visibility. The counselor, whose face is very kind, too kind, suspended over cruelty like a planet over an ocean, asks, "What brought you here?" 66 people begin to speak. 66 answers. 66 versions of the same sentence, rearranged. I couldn't stop being. I couldn't start being. I couldn't remember what being was supposed to feel like. The man measuring in teaspoons goes first. A handful of wanting out. A sliver of the wrong kind of wanting. The girl who is girls. I had too many rooms and not enough doors. Me. I thought if I removed myself from the equation, everyone else could divide evenly. The therapist writes something on her pad. She writes so much. She must be taking inventory, counting our bankruptcies, our personal apocalypses, the specific shapes our logic has broken into. V, the drunk tank theorem 65 other people, plus me, equals a population that believes in subtraction. We are all trying to undo something. A decision. A birth. A moment when we understood too clearly that we were conscious and would have to remain conscious, witness to our own dissolution until the final subtraction. There's no drunk tank for maniacs. There's no separate category for those of us who drank too deeply from the well of our own awareness. We're all here for the same crime. We looked too long at the nothing, and the nothing began to take shape. The woman from yesterday, or my future, time is a carousel here, tells me. Everyone thinks they're the sane one. That's what makes us all mad. We're trapped in the collective delusion that sanity is something you can hold, measure, fold back into shape. But it isn't. It never was. Sanity is just a story we tell about chaos when we're not tired enough to tell the truth. I think she's wrong. I think she's right. I think the difference has been subtracted. VI, the arithmetic of release on day 9 or never. Time has become optional. The therapist says, you're stable. You can go home. Home is the bridge. Home is the shoes in my pockets. Home is the empty variable in the equation that still needs solving. But the woman with breath blinks is staying. The recipe man is staying. The girl who is girls is staying. 62 of them are staying because subtraction is contagious. Because once you've seen how the logic breaks, you can't see it any other way. As I'm leaving, one of them, I can't remember which, they've all become the same person in different configurations, whispers, "You're the lucky one. You get to pretend you were ever sane. You get to go back out there and tell people about the mad. But here's what you won't say. The only difference is we stopped performing. We let ourselves equal 0. I take the train home. The rails subtract miles. The landscape rushes past in frames that don't connect, like memories that belong to someone else's mind. I think about the bridge. I think about the nothing that was going to take my shape, swallow my coordinates, make me into an equation that balanced perfectly because it contained no variables. I think about whether that would have been subtraction or multiplication, the ultimate reduction, or the final answer to the only question that matters. The train rocks. 65 other people in other cars are still in the drunk tank, folding their consciousness into origami, speaking in teaspoons, breathing like clocks that stopped believing in time. I am the sane one. I am the most mad. there is no difference left to subtract.